Welcome to Invercargill in New Zealand's deep south, home to Cycling Southland and the SBS Bank Tour of Southland. Now in its 64th year, the SBS Tour is one of the country's longest running sporting events and the most prestigious title in New Zealand cycling. The list of past winners is a who's who of New Zealand road racing, and it remains the toughest test of the Kiwi calendar. 102 riders, 17 teams, 7 days, 836 kilometres and only one winner. Clear skies and gentle breezes were the order of the day on Friday for a stage that so often writes the script for the Tour winners and losers, but not this year. After an aggressive start where the Tour leader Corbin Strong and his Powernet team covered every move, the main contenders kept their legs rested for Saturday's Tour finale. It took 2 hours, but a 9-strong breakaway finally formed. With no general classification threats up front, the break was given plenty of leeway by the peloton, and they didn't let up, averaging almost 45 kilometres an hour for the 170k journey to Lumsden. In the end, it was Campbell Stewart who claimed the stage honours, with the yellow jersey and his nearest rivals crossing safely in a bunch a little over 2 minutes later. That means Corbin Strong will attempt to become the first Southlander in 26 years to win the SBS Bank Tour, taking a 10-second advantage over defending champion Michael Vink and a further 3 riders within 33 seconds, with one fascinating day's racing remaining.
Yeah, it's an exciting sort of final day here. We've got potentially 5 guys that could still win the tour, so it's going to be definitely one of those TTs. You just have to leave absolutely everything out there, and then just kind of hope that your time's good enough to take the yellow.
Yeah, it's very close time gaps, and I think anyone in the top 5 can walk away with this tour today, but it's going to be a fight and it's going to be hard ask for anyone. So I've probably got to pull out the best time trial of my life to have a shot at winning this tour. So yeah, looking forward to laying it out there and seeing what I can do. But yeah, guys like Vink and Oram and Aaron, they're all very classy bike riders and very classy time trialers. So yeah, I'm definitely up against it, but looking forward to the challenge.
Yeah, we're in a really good position with Aaron and myself within 30 seconds of the yellow today. Obviously, Ollie Jones and Michael Vink, you can't count them out. Obviously, big riders and built for a 20-minute effort. So we'll see, but obviously this afternoon stage could all just flip on its head.
Well, I'd like to have a decent hit out in the time trial, just see what I can do against, like what kind of time I can put out against those top guys, just for a bit of personal fun. And then it'll be a pretty hot stage coming into Invercargill, I imagine. It's usually pretty short and we'll just be full gas the whole way, so hopefully we can hold on to the front group there and then have some fun around Queen's Park.
Yeah, my dad came down just last night to watch. It's the first time he's seen the tour, so it's pretty cool to have some family members around, and it'd be really nice to take the win and show them sort of what I've been doing the last 10 years down here.
So here we are for the penultimate stage here in the SBS Bank Tour of Southland, 13 kilometres. But today, Doug, this could be a bit of history. Will a Southlander take out the tour, or will the likes of Gate or Vink take out another tour in their history books?
We have not seen an edition like this year's SBS Tour. We've got so many contenders who are all vying, like you say, for this title. And this is on the road now with Aaron Gate from the Black Spoke Pro Cycling Academy. He is just over it as low as he can. You even see here, Julian, he's taken his water bottle off for this stage.
Yes, the 2016 champion goes out onto the roads around Southland to here, out the outskirts of Winton. It's a traditional stage they've used for a number of years here on this time trial, so these guys will know every inch of it. Gate and his team out doing the recon earlier today to see what exactly they need to take on board.
So a huge time trial, the only rider so far to break the 16-minute mark.
It's an outstanding effort by Gate, so Jones will be well aware of it here as he moves onto the road here and 4th in the general classification, just 20 seconds off the overall lead here as he makes his way around the back straights of the circuit.
Incredible that a whole week of racing like we've just had has come down to a 13k individual time trial, and it really is a test of the best all-rounder and the best all-round bike rider in the SBS Bank Tour. And Ollie Jones here, he is over it, but is his time going to be enough to put him into yellow?
So So a very respectable time there for the Power Net rider as we now scan our eyes to James Oram, another former champion in this tour in 2013 and a well-renowned time trialist.
Yes, he has certainly proven his worth, having been a previous winner, and it's interesting to note the different styles of the guys. Here is James Oram on top of the bars, trying to get as low as he can. There is no special equipment, no aero bars, no disc wheels allowed, so they're basically using their bikes they've used all week.
Yes, it's all about giving it absolute death here out here on the second to last stage of the tour. These riders can't afford to ease off whatsoever. They've got to keep it all the way to the line. It's only mere seconds, as we've said, in that top 5, and the time they're coming through here for Oram of 16:20 to keep him well up in the general classification.
And here we are back out on the field with Michael Vink. He's the second last rider to go, of course, being second on GC. He is super low. This man really is a specialist time trial rider. He's won this tour on the back of the time trial previous editions. Coming into the finish chute here, he is on a flyer. This is really, really quick.
Yes, the defending champion. He has won the stage multiple times here today. He comes in at just mere 9 seconds off the yellow. A time of 16:21, a very impressive time, but doesn't put him at the top of the leaderboard. And it's still Gate who'll be chewing into the lead of the man right here from in the yellow jersey, Corbin Strong of Southland. All the pressure is on him.
Yes, Corbin will have had a very, very restless last night, knowing that today is do or die for him to try and break the stranglehold on this race. He has shown himself to be so resilient. He's such a tough bike rider. He's a track rider primarily, but obviously is branching into the road here. Corbin's coming into the last corner. He'll have to be pretty careful, but he'll be wanting to go as fast as he can. It's quite a wet course out there, and Corbin is really going to have to drive it all the way through to the finish, isn't he?
Yes, Aaron Gate will be sitting in the hot seat here, watching every moment of time go by, as he was 33 seconds off this lead and going into this particular stage. He'll be waiting for the Southlander to come through, and no doubt there'll be a cheer from the local crowd who've been in support of this young man all week long.
Yeah, Corbin has received huge amounts of support from the local province and further afield. He's coming into the final corner now. He'll be driving it all the way, knowing that this is his chance to claim that yellow jersey. He's only got the last stage to go, but he'll be nervously looking at the clock the minute he crosses this line.
Strong crosses the line in a time of 17:08, 68 seconds slower than the stage victor Aaron Gate. Aaron Gate with the stage victory moves within 1 second of the new leader, the defending champion Michael Vink. With Oram at 5 seconds and Corbin Strong at 37, it's going to be a tight race heading into Invercargill this afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, I've been racing bikes a long time. You know, I've certainly been under some pretty high pressure situations, and I've been part of some very close races. And saying that Aaron has too, you know, they're very professional, and I think we are too. So it's going to be a real tight battle coming down to Invercargill.
The main thing is that there's a 3-second time bonus the first time across the line in Queen's Park, which we're going to have to try and take, as well as the regular finishing time bonuses on that finishing time. There's still 10 seconds up for grabs if you win the stage. So I'm just going to have to find my sprinting legs and get the guys to do the best job they possibly can to help me. And I guess we've got another card too with James Oram, only a few seconds back on the overall too. So might even be a chance for him to slip up the road.
The last stage is going to be really exciting. The typical Tour of Southland weather's finally turned up. We've got a bit of wind and a bit of rain in the forecast this afternoon, and we've got less than 45 seconds separating the top 5. So that yellow jersey and the overall winner is still anyone's to take away.
So here we are in the last stage of the SBS Bank Tour. 1 second separates first and second in terms of the yellow jersey. What is going to happen tactically, Julian, on this last stage, and what is going through the minds of all of these riders as we depart in what is quite rainy conditions, which will put a different spin on things tactically, I believe. But gosh, what a finish. A whole week's racing comes down to this.
Yes, it's the dampest day that these riders have experienced for the tour, and hard to believe it comes down to this final stage as we see the likes of Aaron Gate there. He's got a job to do. The teams no doubt had a lot of discussions, as you said, Doug, about what are the tactics, what are the options available to them. There are a few undulations early on in this particular stage as we look to Graham Sycamore, commissaire number 2 on the road in his last ever tour, over 50 years experience here in this SBS Bank Tour of Southland, as the flag is dropped and the riders make their way out of Winton.
Not a huge lot of wind here this afternoon too. It may be a wee bit damp, which will make some of the cornering a wee bit trickier. One of the things, of course, going through your mind when you're in the tour leader's jersey in the last stage of these things is primarily I've got to stay upright, I can't afford a crash, and I do not want to have a puncture. So the whole bunch will be worrying about this, and of course in the minds of some of the riders who haven't featured this week, they'll be thinking, hey, this is my last opportunity to try and win a stage.
And as we saw from the shot at the back of the peloton too, Doug, there's a few, what's going through their minds are, I want to get home. They've had a big week's worth of racing, close to 840 odd kilometres for these riders in some fantastic conditions and damp and cool windy conditions here this afternoon, which will play a factor, no doubt, for a lot of these top teams as they try and get some time gaps. It's Alex Heaney here of PowerNet on the front, the man who was second last year, doing the job for Corbin Strong.
We've seen Alex at the front in this PowerNet team all week. Like you say, it has been a true SBS Bank Tour of Southland. We've had all the conditions, we've had all the spectrum of terrain. Dylan Kennett at the front. The pace is just scorching. These guys are really wanting to keep things together, and how the major teams all coordinate is going to be something that unfolds as well.
So a bit of discussion here from the leading team, the Wednesday Cycles team classification. Of course, they've been pretty powerful throughout the week, the Black Smoke Pro Cycling Academy. As we see here, it looks like Bailey O'Donnell of Canterbury, he's going off the front. He's got, of course, Vink in his team. So this could be some sort of a tactic they're trying to play to try and soften things up here as the young man heads off.
And of course, as we go further into this stage, you start heading through the Spring Hills area of Southland, and there's Michael Vink starting to position himself a bit further up. He feels like he may be being caught back a bit here with one of these riders away off the front. But the fireworks will really start once they get over the Rackerhook climb. Michael Vink's doing a lot of work here trying to defend things. He'll be wanting to contain this race and take the pressure out, and also wants to make sure that all of his teammates are with him. There's one of the Base Solutions riders there coming through for him, and they are really at 6s and 7s at the moment. This field is starting to crack.
Really interesting to note here who is chasing who here as they sit up and ease the pace off. That'll be annoying the likes of Vink. He'll be used to it. He'll know there's a lot of riders in here for various reasons to try and secure the stage victory. As the pressure goes off a little bit, this won't be the last of the attacks. You can be assured of that here as these riders try and get themselves into Invercargill as quickly as possible, but more importantly for Vink to try and ensure that he loses no time, and in fact if he can gain some time bonuses, he'd feel a lot more at ease.
There are a few time bonuses, of course, Julian, emerging further on into the stage as we get to Queen's Park. That will be the other thing going through the minds of a lot of these riders. How do we negate that, or do we try and capitalise on it? The Aaron Gates, of course, the Jacob Orams, they'll be looking at these time splits, James Oram, looking at these time splits, as is Corbin Strong. This guy's not going to give up yet. He's going to race all the way to the finish line in Gala Street.
Yeah, speaking of time splits here, very interesting indeed, as it's Aaron Gate that's got the advantage going off the front here. Corbin Strong along with him here. So at the moment you've got second and fourth in the general classification, getting a gap on the defending champion who has sent 3 of his teammates forward. That's why Kennett and co will be sitting on the back of these guys. They won't be coming on through for a lap. They have no interest in giving any efforts to this, and they'll allow the peloton to try and get themselves across.
This is really Corbin Strong's last ditch effort. He's obviously lost some time in that time trial, which he'll be disappointed about, I'm sure. But here he is again. You've got to say Corbin Strong, that's one of the facets and strengths of this young guy from Southland. He never gives up, he never gives in, and he's just a true role model for a lot of young bike riders in New Zealand. With that attitude, this kid, I believe, Julian, is going to go a long, long way, if not all the way in New Zealand and the world of cycling.
We can see the frustrations here of Dylan Kennett. He's a bit over it. They've been chasing down his team leader, and so he's going to pay it in kind and sit on the back there of the man in pink, and of course Gate as well, as the peloton makes their way onto the back of this break.
So onto the laps of Queen's Park, and we're setting up here now for the first time bonus sprint coming into Gala Street, and the Black Spoke Pro Cycling Academy are leading their man out, Aaron Gate. But look back there, there's Michael Vink. He's boxed in here. He's going to have to get out of that position if he's going to take any of these bonus seconds, which are going to be vital for the overall yellow jersey.
Yes, 3, 2 and 1 second bonus available as they swing into Gala Street. Typically wouldn't make a huge bit of difference, but when you come into a stage like this and there's only 1 second separating the top two, 5 seconds to third, then it's all on. And it's Kennett who's been put onto the front to try and steal the seconds away, and it's Gate alongside him as they do battle into the sprinter. You'd think it was the stage victory here, but Kennett will pick up the maximum seconds. Gate will pick up a very vital 2 seconds as we look back, and it is Vink, the tour leader, getting the 1 second. So Doug, with 3 laps to go here in 2020, who would have believed it? These guys here are going to be tied on time.
That was an incredible effort from Michael Vink to get himself out of that position that he is in, coming down Kelvin Street to get into a spot to take that last time bonus sprint. He'll be so thankful that Dylan Kennett was there too, of course, to take the time lead off Aaron Gate, but it's all tied up, and Vink realises what he's got to do. He's going to have to try and soften these guys up. He may not have as good a finish as Aaron Gate, perhaps if it comes down to a final sprint, and he is really trying his best to split things up or trying to get away himself.
So the peloton makes their way down towards Gala Street. They'll hear the ring of the bell. 1 lap remaining and it's all tied up. This is outstanding stuff. It could come down to the time bonuses. 6, 4 and 2 are up for grabs here as they'll go across the line in about 4 kilometres time.
Gosh, what a finish for this year's SBS Bank Tour. I can't think of one that's been so close in any edition for quite a long time. How these riders are going to position themselves, where Michael Vink is going to be in this final sprint. He's going to have to be somewhere around, near Aaron Gate. Aaron Gate's Black Spoke Pro Cycling Academy have been doing a massive job of keeping him out of trouble. The Base Solutions track riders have been right up to the forefront with their man Campbell Stewart as well. They'll be seeking a bit of stage glory. There's a bit of cat and mouse looking around going on here, but gosh, there'll be some anxious nerves in these bike riders at the moment.
Yes, I'd suggest there's a lot of the track tactics coming into play here as they position themselves. It's all about position as they come on down through Queen's Drive here. Very damp conditions. It's very dangerous for them as they try and jostle about to try and get themselves towards the front. And as we said, Base Solutions controlling things as they go past all the road furniture. Once again, looks like Odlin also has gone on the outside there to try and get himself into some sort of clear bit of movement into the bunch as we make our way down. Oh, there's a rider down, Doug, a crash. Keppel, I think, by the looks of it, from Copeland's.
That is just a disaster, but this is so dangerous. Queen's Drive is a very, very quick road. It's a very smooth road. Of course, you get the wet, you get the white painted lines. There's the odd manhole cover to contend with coming around corners as well. This is just treacherous. There's some serious strategy and tactics going on here at the front of this bike race, and these guys in contention for the race are going to have to be careful that they don't get knocked off.
Everything being used. You could see there one of the riders from the Base Solutions team integrating his shoulder into the action there as they try and put the roadblock on the front of the race here. They are controlling things big time for their man Campbell Stewart. He's already taken a stage out yesterday in different fashion for him, away in a break, but today it looks like, as it has a number of times into Gala Street, is going to be a bunch kick.
And you're going to have to look back further too to the GC contenders to see where their position is as well, because once you start coming down the Herbert Street here, it's very, very fast. Once you get into Kelvin Street, if you're not in position, it's all too late. And you can see a huge surge coming on here towards the back of the field with the creation signs. Dylan Kennett's having a look around, looking for his team leader in Michael Vink. It is just an incredible finish here.
Yes, Vink onto Kennett's wheel, his lieutenant, to try and lead him through for the stage victory. Base Solutions swing across once again, catching one of the PowerNet boys off guard here as riders try to get themselves off the front, but they're being blocked constantly. Southland's Hamish Keats now having a bit of a go off the front for the Transport Engineering Tallies team. Is this an effort here to try and soften things, make a few of the teams chase him and allow Vink to move into position?
Gosh, this is just treacherous conditions. The riders here are showing a huge amount of skill getting around these corners at such high speed without coming off. It is really wet today. Hamish Keith, the Southland boy, he's at the front. He's been such a workhorse for the Transport Engineering Tallies team this week. He'll be super stoked with his form. Here he is trying to lead out his man and make the speed that quick that the other riders can't go anywhere or make it too hard to get up, but it is really, really coming right down to the wire. This is going to be all the way to the finish line.
PowerNet on the front there, trying to set their man up, Corbin Strong, as we see Kennett now do a big dig. Now this will send shivers down the spine of a number of these riders here. They'll know exactly what he's up to as the yellow jersey holder goes on to the front. Of course, he won't chase his own teammate. Kennett, what he's trying to do here is secure that 6 seconds, allow for that not to be given to the likes of Gate and Co.
This is a very, very strategic move here from the Transport Engineering Tallies team. Dylan Kennett was always going to be the man that was going to try and do this. They've set this up perfectly. Michael Vink's probably caught a wee bit far back. He's still going to have to make an effort to try and take a time bonus in this final stage. You can see him getting boxed in a wee bit here as the Base Solutions riders and the Creation Science team are setting their sprinters up. Michael Vink is probably a wee bit far back at this stage, I believe.
Yeah, totally agree there, Doug, as they swing into the finishing straight into Gala Street. He is a long way back, a lot of time to try and make up, and there's not enough real estate available, I would suggest, as Creation Science might a queue in the mix here for the sprint finish. Corbin Strong heads down on the right-hand side in the pink jersey. We also see Vet for Farm getting involved in it as well, as Aaron Gate starts to make his move up through the middle here with about 50 yards to go. Campbell, Stewart, Gate takes it. Gate takes the stage, not only the stage, Doug, but with the time bonus, that should be enough to take out the tour. History is made with Aaron Gate taking out the title in 2016, adds a spectacular win in 2020 to win by 6 seconds over Michael Vink and James Oram at 12 seconds. With a massive points tally of 61, James Fouché takes out the Harcourt sprint ace from Zenovich and Kennett. While Paul Wright, also part of the Creation Science Maitaku team, holds on to the Jesco Hydraulics King of the Mountains for 2020. Corbin Strong wins the Henderson Construction under 23 by over 2 minutes from Curry and Lawrence Pithy. Paul Odlin once again wins the Stonewood Homes silver jersey from Glenn Hayden. While Travis Kane of Invercargill takes the Shared the Road Ambassador Award on the final stage. Black Spoke Pro Cycling Academy proved too strong all week to take out the Wednesday Cycles team classification from PowerNet and Transport Engineering Tallies.
Last time was pretty special, and I think this one is just as much so. Just the fact that the race came down to the absolute wire there made it pretty exciting to be in the race, and I hope to watch too. We didn't want to leave anything to chance, so they sort of helped keep me up there for that final sprint too. And when I could see the finish line approaching and no one in front of me, it was just sort of like, oh, this is unreal. So yeah, it was definitely a team effort, so I can't thank them enough for sacrificing their own chances and success to help mine. The locals always put on a great race, and even today it's pouring down with rain and everyone's out to cheer the race on and watch this presentation, so it's been amazing, and can't thank the people of Southland enough.
Follow the action from this historic race with live race updates, full results and pictures at www.tourofsouthland.com.